Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
All right, everyone. Welcome to another Diehard football podcast. I am Crispy Bacon here with Coach D. How you doing today?
Okay, well, first of all, happy birthday, Chris.
Thank you.
All right. And it's Cowboys Victory Monday.
It is.
You all love that. Yes, sir.
Cowboys pulled it out last night and against the Chargers by, 2 or 3 points?
20-17.
Yeah.
56-yard field goal by Greg DeLeg as time ran out.
That was a crazy end to the game.
Oh, my gosh, it was. Just the shoot, even the Cowboys having the ball, tons of time left.
Yeah.
30 seconds. They run a running play, and then they get back up to the line, and they're 15 seconds. And I'm like, you'd like them to try to get more yardage. And I'm thinking, a quick out. They only had one timeout left or something like that to get 6 or 7 more yards, maybe more, something. And they're just milling around and everything. And then they have to call timeout with 4 seconds left.
Yeah.
I haven't heard what that story was.
McCarthy keeps saying about it was something to do with the clock.
Well,
with the stadium.
Yeah. Call the play, call timeout. If they use their last timeout at 15 seconds left, okay, you can run 2 plays, at least 2 or 3, probably 2 plays, both sideline plays, obviously, and then you still have time.
Okay.
I have no idea. We'll find out more as the week goes on. And obviously here, the local radio, they'll dissect it, and we will have an answer, by God. But anyway, the Cowboys won.
Yeah, they did.
The team played so good. Dak was on. He had 2 mistakes, interception. I don't know where he was trying to throw it. And then he got sacked hanging on to the ball a little too long. But other than that, really good. The big worry of the week, the offensive line with La'el Collins out.
Yeah.
With a suspension. They played well. Tony Pollard, 110 yards, touchdown. Zeke, 71 yards, I believe, and a couple of catches. Personally, I think Tony Pollard should be the number 1, but he doesn't get paid $90 million. Zeke actually did run away from somebody in the first half. So
I saw that, yeah.
But that being said, you get 180 yards rushing. That's awesome. You'll take that every day, all day. And, the receivers played well. CD Lamb had a really good couple of plays. Cooper got banged up at the end, but, he only had 4 or 5 catches. So not his best day, but they played well. And the defense showed up. They were after it. And Micah Parsons, defensive end, man, he was in their backfield all day. And finally at the end, he got the sack on that. Could have been intentional grounding in the grass type thing. They did call the whistle a tick quick. The result was going to be the result. It might have been intentional grounding. I'm not sure the ball passed the scrimmage, but Parsons was in the backfield all day, and that was good. Kersey, the defensive back, he was
He was everywhere.
Yep, he was all over the place. Tavon Diggs got another interception. The defense played well all day long, Herbert is a good quarterback, man. He's going to be good.
He is. He's going to be really good, I think, and he's going to be somebody to watch out for, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy. But it was a good, fun game,
Yeah.
A lot of flags. There was bad calls against us, and there was bad calls against the Chargers. So I don't want to hear anybody complaining about that.
There's bad calls on both sides.
Exactly.
Some missed calls, some calls you're like, I don't know why they called it on that, but
exactly. Even Tony Romo kind of called them out on that. He goes, "That's kind of ticky tack." Love you, Tony. I love you.
Yeah. So Isaiah's coming in here and saying hi, guys, and hello, Isaiah.
What's up, Isaiah?
What did you think of the other games yesterday?
There were some good ones. The Thursday night game, the Washington football team, the Redskins, they edged it out over the midgets. Pretty good game, I think. Washington's got a good defense, so
what do you think of their quarterback?
Well, Heineke, he's a backup, but now that Fitzgerald's out, this is the problem Washington's going to have. They don't have a future guy, but Heineke has shown in the past he's a capable backup. He played last year for Kansas City, and he won a playoff game for them on a kind of a trick play or something, if I can remember.
All right.
And he's been around a couple of years. He's not old, Who knows? Maybe he steps in and becomes a legit starting quarterback. I don't know the status of Fitzgerald's hip. He's older. He's 37 now,
He's getting up there in age, but
yeah. But he's the good veteran quarterback that you have. He's been around for years.
Yeah. Isaiah's asking, what do you guys think of Wilson and Trevor Lawrence starts his career with 5 interceptions in 2 games for Lawrence and 6 for Wilson. They're rookies. You're going to have bad games, and it's not like last year where you don't have, no audience, no crowd noise, and to fill the stadium. So I felt like rookies last year had a better benefit.
Yeah. Trevor, last week he had 300 yards, but remember, Jacksonville is bad, They could win 2 games, and Zach Wilson has not been bad. He hasn't been great, but again, he's on the Jets, and he's on a bad team, so they're gonna struggle. And if you're a fan of these teams, and I always say this, look for the flashes, look for the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 games where all of a sudden they light it up, or the plays and stuff. Look at their demeanor, their leadership, when they're on the field. Zach Wilson is supposed to be a super smart guy. Trevor, we know all about him, not as much as Zach Wilson, but the Jets, they've had their quarterback issues, but they did a lot of research on him, and I like him. From what I've seen in college and stuff, I like him, but he's on the Jets, and you can preface it every time by saying, but he's on the Jacks, he's on the Jets. It's they're not on a 500 team trying to go over the hump. They're on a last place team. If they win either one of them teams, if they win 5 games, that'll be a miracle.
Yeah, I feel like the New York Jets just have bad luck. Just picking quarterbacks. I don't know. They didn't do really anything with Sanchez or Darnold.
Yeah. Well, Sanchez got lucky early in his career because they did go to 2 AFC championship games with him.
Yeah,
And back then they had a good team,
they did. Yeah,
They just honestly, it's the Jets ownership and probably a lot of the front office management.
right.
They made a mistake making Gase a coach last year. That was dumb. And however they're going to go forward with the new coach, we'll see. Jacksonville has Urban. I'm sure they'll give him a couple of years. With college coaches, even the big-time college coaches, doesn't translate all the time. Nick Saban was good at LSU, went to the pros, wasn't good, came back to Alabama. He's awesome.
Right.
Pete Carroll, his first time around in New England, he wasn't that good. Went back to college, had a great thing going there, and then he left USC under a little bit of suspicious circumstances to Seattle, and they've been good ever since, and the players like him. He's had a good team. They draft well, and of course, any team with Russell Wilson, you got a shot. So,
Yeah. Would you see Carroll? I know it's crazy, but you never know. Carroll going back to USC?
no. There was NCAA. Probably would be okay now. Just the money under the table. There was some allegations that they never pursued it or nothing, but there was talk and whispers when he left. He just kind of all of a sudden, I'm going to Seattle. So nothing criminally illegal, but NCAA violations type thing.
Right. Yeah.
He's 68 years old. I don't think he'd go back to college, even though he's in good shape and he doesn't look 68. But I think he likes where he's at and he's successful, so no reason to go back.
That's true. Isaiah's saying that they should, in San Francisco, they should sit Trey Lance for the entire season and just let him grow, as a backup on a bench. I think that's going to be hard, only because we saw yesterday, like, multiple quarterbacks going down. Some of them returned, but they still went down with one injury.
Well, yeah, you always have to preface that with barring injury, but Jimmy Garoppolo is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's a good quarterback. His issue is staying healthy, but he's playing great right now. I think that's the Niners' plan to do that. Let him sit. Doesn't mean he's going to start next year.
Right.
I think it's good for a young guy to sit if the team has that luxury. The problem is now you get a number one pick, you pay him a junk load of money, and everybody's screaming at him to start. That used to not be the case. They always sat a couple of years and learned under the veterans. Pat Mahomes learned under Alex Smith for a year, but I guarantee you that made Patrick Mahomes a much better quarterback, because Alex Smith was a very smart quarterback. He was a very good quarterback. He didn't have the physical talents, but whenever he played well. He played on the Niners, the Chiefs, the Redskins. He was a very good quarterback, and a young guy should learn that from them. Most veterans will teach the young guys that, of course, now Andy Dalton hurt his knee yesterday, and Justin Fields had to go in. So I don't know what that's going to do for next week going forward. If Dalton gets healthy.
I, I
Don't know about that. That's kind of probably a waiting thing, see thing. Dalton didn't go there to be a number 2 guy. He wanted
no,
to start. That's why he went. He probably could have stayed at Dallas, and I wish he had, but he wouldn't have got $10 million for 1 year.
I don't think so either. I feel like he's a good backup. He was a good starter, but I feel like now he's a good backup. For a team.
Yeah, and just depends how that goes. So we'll see with Justin Fields, in that
Yeah.
scenario. Sorry.
Right. No, you're good.
Yeah.
I heard that Carson Wentz of the Colts didn't hurt one ankle, but both of his ankles.
That poor guy.
I know. It's like he's cursed for.
Starting to think that, it's like, geez, he gets out of a bad situation in Philadelphia and where the front office doesn't like him for whatever reason. He goes back with his Frank Reich, his offensive coordinator from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He was good. And then he got hurt in training camp. Got surgery. I was surprised he started week 1, but he did. And, geez, the guy gets hurt again. I know he's a gamer. Maybe he needs to learn how to slow down somehow and not, take the sack instead of trying to run it. Because he used to be able to outrun the defensive ends and the linebackers, but you get ankle injury after ankle injury. That definitely slows you out. He's only like he's Dak's age. He's 27, 28. He was in the same draft.
Oh yeah.
I remember I was mad that the Eagles jumped up and took him. And then the Cowboys had to take Zeke. So, so it just is what it is. With him, you got to play healthy.
Yeah. I just feel like, and I'm glad he's out of the Eagles, but I just feel like nothing's just going his way.
Yep, it's just some guys are like that. You look through all sports, you'll see, all the schedules. Excuse me. Baseball, basketball. Some guys, he's really good, but he can't stay on the field. Some guys are like that. And then some guys never get hurt, and it's just luck. Conditioning does play a factor, but some guys are just like that. They can play through the injuries if they get them, and and the injuries they get aren't as severe. Sprained ankle isn't as severe as tearing a ligament in your ankle, which is a severe sprain, and that could be the difference. One guy just tapes it up, goes back in, the other guy goes out, has to do rehab for a couple of weeks, and then come back in if he doesn't need surgery. Almost the same injury, but different, and it's just the roll. I don't know, the roll of the dice, I mean, here in Dallas, Emmitt Smith played for 16 years, he was never out, he got a separated shoulder in the playoffs and he still played the next week, but that's how much pain you can take. And the Cowboys are lucky like that. They've had 3 long-term running backs in their history. And so fans are spoiled here now. And then same thing with quarterbacks, you had Meredith for a couple of years and you had Staubach for 11 years. Go a few years later. Then you have Aikman, and then we had Romo. I loved Romo, and he was a very good quarterback. But most teams, in 10 years, they're going through 3 or 4 quarterbacks every 10 years.
Yeah.
The Cowboys got 3 quarterbacks right there that spanned 30 years or so, just 3 guys.
Yeah.
So we're lucky like that. And Cowboy fans are spoiled,
We are. We just need more rings and more championships.
Yeah, more rings, more championships.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
It has. Isaiah's thinking that Jack Del Rio could go to USC. You think that could be right now?
That could be a good shot.
He's with Washington right now as a defensive coach.
Yep. I'm sure his name's come up. He's been an NFL head coach. He's been pretty good, for USC. That's a big name. You're gonna get money. I don't know what USC is thinking. Maybe they want a young guy. That seems to be a big trend in college as well as the pros. I think they want to get a guy that's going to be there 20 years. Like Saban will be.
Well, I feel like since they are going after younger people, if I'm Kellen Moore of Dallas, I'd be afraid.
Yeah, I wish everybody had shut up.
I know. No one's really talking about that right now, but
the first thing they said is on the broadcast yesterday, yeah, he'll be a head coach somewhere next year. No, come on.
Yeah, maybe in the NFL, but maybe not.
I'm like, oh my God, I like the way he does it. He calls the plays. Let's get a system built in here, not flip coaches every 2 years. You don't get a system that way here. If he wants to be a head coach, have him stay 3 more years and maybe he becomes the head coach of the Cowboys.
That'd be good.
Or something like that. I don't think McCarthy's going to last too long unless somehow they win a Super Bowl. But I like some things Mike McCarthy does, and there's some other things that I just get questionable about. So.
But I feel like that's with any head coach. You're going to have those questionable calls, that they don't.
Yeah,
you don't like.
That they're going to be able to get away with it, like Belichick, and you'll say, well, yeah, he's good, but but you don't want to see the same kind of, I don't know, what do you call it, the dumbness or something. But so
right. Kansas City got beat last night.
I know, I saw that.
Point.
Well, I guess you don't want to give Lamar Jackson the ball with not much time left.
I guess not. For Lamar, that was like his statement game because he could never win against Patrick Mahomes, and I think he's due for a new contract after the season, so he kind of had to have that win, and I'm kind of glad he did.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like he's used more as I know he doesn't like to use hear it, but running back. He's more of a running quarterback.
Their first 3 running backs are all out. He is going to run. He's going to run 8, 10, 12 times a game. That's part of their game plan. He just thought he wants to be known as a quarterback probably. But I don't know. I think he's a pretty humble guy. I don't think that kind of thing bothers him too much.
I don't think so.
He's definitely a good athlete. He gives 100%, and he is a beast. You got to keep an eye on him. I mean, you could have a running back sitting there getting 10 yards a carry. You still got to have a guy shade him, and Baltimore is, they are a very good team. They could be in the Super Bowl,
They could.
They've been through trials before where people say, oh, they just can't do it, and then they up and do it because they mainly play a really good defense too. That was a little bit of a high-scoring game, but they've always had a good defense, and with Lamar Jackson, you got a multi-talented quarterback. So,
yeah, it's always been high-scoring. The score last night was 36-35. That's too close.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm glad for Lamar. He needed that win to kind of save his Baltimore career.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing he'd like to stay there and not, Baltimore doesn't have a ton of high-priced guys, so they should keep him. It's working. They win every year.
Yeah.
They're in first place or they're in the wild card every year. So they should be good.
Should Saints fans be worried? They got totally, I don't know,
Destroyed
outscored. Huh? Yeah, destroyed.
by
26-7.
Carolina.
Yeah, 26-7.
You know what I think? I
What?
think Coastal Carolina is playing in place of the Panthers. They just putting on their uniforms. That's what
There
I
you go.
think it is.
I like Coastal Carolina watching them.
They are.
They're pretty
like
good.
in the nation. Yes, they are. The Chanticleers.
Yeah. That's a good name. I like that.
Yep. And it's I forgot what it means, but anyway, Sam Darnold did well, 300 yards. He looked good. Christian McCaffrey. That's what Carolina's going to need to win games. They're going to need Christian McCaffrey to be Christian McCaffrey and Sam Darnold to play well. No mental mistakes, no fumbles, no interceptions. Big arm, yes. And when he, on the rare occasions he's looked good, he's looked really good. It's like 1 out of 5 times he gets out there and it's like, God, where's this guy at? And he's making the right play, doing the right thing. Good confidence builder for him. They're 2-0 now, and nobody saw that coming out bad. It's shoot, and the Saints. I don't think we're gonna see. Sorry.
No, you're good.
We're gonna see Jameis no more. He's gonna sit on the sidelines and eat crab legs.
You think he's gonna be benched?
They got to do something. He hasn't looked good at all. He had 5 touchdowns last week, but 150 yards. He was just efficient. But yesterday he was 30 for 30. Jameis again. Touchdowns and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe another week. I don't think. Peyton will be patient with him.
I don't think so either.
But they got too many weapons on offense to only score 1 touchdown. You got to put that on the quarterback. Can't put that on the coach. They did give up 26 points, but then again, when you keep giving the ball to the other team and your defense is out there longer, your defense going to get worn down. The other team's going to stretch the game, and you're going to take some losses. So they got time this year. This year we got to remember we got an extra game, so teams got a little tiny bit more cushion to make a comeback. But
really, week 2 is like the normal week 1, if you want to put it that way. In that this would be the 16-game mark. This week.
Yeah.
So I think many fans overlook the Saints because when they beat the Packers, they're like, "Oh, this team's on top." We just beat one of the top teams in the NFC, and now they just got beat, and they're probably going, maybe we're not as good as we thought.
Well, when Drew Brees doesn't come back, that's huge.
Yeah.
He wasn't hanging on by a thread at the end of his career. He was still one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I think he just thought, what? Because he did get hurt a little bit last year. He probably figured, I think I'm going to I can still walk and stuff and not risk it. I'm just going to go away. He said, and retire. I have had a good career. I've got Super Bowl rings. I got everything. Accomplished everything you could do. Yeah. So that's a huge shoes to fill. So that could maybe it'll take the Saints some time to get used to not having him.
Yeah.
So who knows? I'll give them time. I don't think they're as bad. They're 1-1. but I don't think they're as bad as they looked yesterday. That was just
That's not as bad as what Miami did. I mean, let's see. They scored 0 points.
35-0.
Yeah.
Buffalo, just their defense just trounced them.
At least Carolina got points.
Yep.
or New Orleans did, I should say. Miami got nothing, and they lost Tua maybe for a few games. So
Yep. Yeah, they're gonna evaluate him this week. Rib injury. Yep. Bills are just efficient. They're good. They're strong. Josh Allen is a great quarterback. Wish he had more yards for my fantasy points, but
yeah.
But he had a couple of touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, and they're solid. They just look good, you know.
What other game stood out to you?
The way the Browns came back and took care of the Texans. Baker looked really good. Got hurt a little bit. Came back in and ran for a touchdown. He hurt his shoulder and stuff. That was a good game. Browns are 1-1. The Bengals and Bears. We already talked to Andy Dalton going out, and so Justin Fields came in, and the Bears won. Close game, 20-17. So that's probably about where that game should have been. Could have been the same score the other way, you know. So that's those two teams, they're gonna win. Each one of them teams, the Bengals and the Bears, they'll win a few games this year. The Bears, if they get lucky, they may sneak because they got that real good defense and they got some players on offense. They may get in the wild card. Bengals got some work to do, but if they win 6 or 7 or 8 games this year, that'll be good. You got Joe Burrow back at quarterback, and he'll be good.
Yeah. So I'm just looking. Texans quarterback Tyrod Taylor is going to be out 4 weeks.
4 weeks, okay. And they have said that they're going to discuss for Thursday night whether Deshaun Jackson will play or not.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That's going to be interesting.
That's one of the stupidest things, and it all has to do with money. You don't want to play him because if he gets hurt, nobody will trade you for him or give you what you want. But
right.
Honestly, I don't know if anybody's really made that big time offer yet. What are you going to do? Trade Lamar Jackson for Deshaun Jackson, and give him a first round pick, or something like that. Why would one team that has a good quarterback trade for a good quarterback? They're in a spot, and once again, it's their ownership's problem. When you get good guys like J.J. Watt deciding he wants out and he gets out, and other guys leave, Hopkins, the year before, something's wrong there. So that franchise, I think, is going downhill,
Yeah.
And they're not going to be good.
No, I don't think.
They need to cherish every win they get.
Yeah. And so far, I think they've gotten either they're 1-1, 1-1, or 2-0. I think they're 2-1.
Yeah. But the Steelers will probably win that division, I think, again. And
right. Let's see.
So we got the 49ers beat the Fleagles. So that was good.
That was good. I like that one. I'm glad. I feel bad for Atlanta, though. They can't catch a break either. And but I'm also glad Philadelphia lost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's never anything good when the Eagles win.
Yeah. Although I did pick them, I think, last week to win that Falcons game. So, I want Atlanta to win, but I just don't know.
Yeah. So, and then we had the Rams beat the Colts 27-24.
That was a good game.
And then, of course, we've discussed Wentz, so that could be why they lost. He got hurt and they couldn't get him. But the Rams, Matthew Stafford seems to have not that he was dead in Detroit, but he seems to be pretty energized. And as we know, you got Aaron Donald on your defensive line, so automatically you have a good defense,
Right.
And they're a good team. They got some players. Cup had like 150 yards receiving yesterday, so he was out of his mind. So that was good for them. So yeah, it's. I thought the Colts. I didn't think the Colts would start 0-2, but we'll see.
But we never thought that their quarterback would hurt both his legs. So I mean,
it's starting to think about Wentz is always going to be hurt. But anyway,
right.
Got you.
What do you think? Yeah, the Raiders.
The Raiders get another win. Derek Carr, 382 yards passing. Steelers, I don't know. I think they're going to win the division because they always seem to win with Tomlin. They never finish below 500 with him. But,
right.
They do have a good defense. TJ Watt, I think he got hurt a little yesterday and he sat out for some.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I hope it's not, but I don't think it's major.
Yeah. So. Mm-hmm. So then the Patriots whooped up on the hapless Jets, 25-6.
Yeah.
If Patriots make the playoffs this year, man, Belichick has to be the greatest coach of all time. Sorry, Vince Lombardi, but
right.
But then again, the Jets are bad, but they still won solid. Didn't let them in the game. Didn't give them any breathing room. They were just on it. And Mac Jones was pretty efficient. And we'll see what goes there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. What did you think of that Vikings-Cardinals game?
Yeah, 34-33. Yeah, the Viking fans, I know they're already tying up a noose and getting the chair set up. They're getting ready. Cardinals, man, I thought Tyler Murray would be able to be a decent quarterback. I didn't know he was going to be this good. He's proven it. It's third year in a row. He's just good. Just Cardinals they're solid. They're good. They got running. They got receiving. Good defense. It's they're a good team, and they're going to get more confident. The Vikings, they've made the playoffs every other year for the past few years, and this was going to be the other year that they make the playoffs. So it's miss it, make it, miss it, make it, and not looking good for them.
No, it's not. No, I mean, bring out those brown paper bags and start hiding your face in shame, so to speak. And
yeah, maybe them and the Saints can get together and start a head bag company.
Yeah, I know when the Saints and all the 0-16 teams and all that, they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe it's time to bring back that trend. I don't know. But it's only 2 games, and they could probably catch up, and it's an expanded season.
Yep, there's a little room there. So that'll be good. I think the Cardinals, though, man, 12, 13 wins, somewhere in there. They're
Yeah.
just good, and so the Titans beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, they did. That was in overtime.
That was a little bit of a shocker. So they rebounded nicely from their opening season loss, and so maybe they are good. We thought they were good, but Derrick Henry was a beast. He kind of carried them in there. He's leading the league in rushing. He has like 280 yards through 2
Right.
games. So, that's a good. What the
Yeah.
heck is going on?
That was my cat. He ran in my room. But what do you think of, or what do you think is going to happen with the Packer game tonight?
Tonight, well, I need Aaron Rodgers to throw for like 400 yards for my fantasy team.
Oh, he's in your fantasy?
Yeah, he's one of my quarterbacks. Packers and Lions. The Packers should eat up the Lions. With that opening week last week for the Packers,
Yeah.
they are not that bad. That was just some kind of shoot yourself in the foot and trip. Now you got your balance back. I think they'll rebound nicely. They're 26 and 6 over the past 2 seasons, so they're not going to fall off the cliff. Lions, unfortunately for Jared Goff, he left a really good team to go to an average team.
Right.
So he's got a lot of work to do. Let's see. He's a young quarterback, and he's already had a couple of great seasons. But he's in Detroit. I don't know if are you happy there?
Yeah.
And then you're going over to play at Green Bay, so you'll have the Packers crowd, and could even be pretty cold there.
Right. So, I'm trying to say his name. Lawrence 23.
Oh,
If I say that, I'm sorry.
LA Rams 23.
Oh, LA Rams 23. Yeah, that makes sense. He's
Is that a true stat?
I
That would be awesome.
Brady is now 14 touchdowns away from throwing more TDs in his 40s than he did in his 20s. I'll have to look at that. That probably is a stat.
Well, he's throwing 40 a year now. Back when he was in his 20s, if you threw for 30, that was a lot, But the passing game in the NBA, in the NFL, there is no passing game in the NBA.
Well, unless you pass the ball. Yeah, it's not like
now. It's becoming a passing league. It's been coming like that. Running backs, you're going to see a top running back switch every couple of years. There's not going to be no more 10, 12-year guys with one team, and they're not going to be paid. Cowboys made a huge mistake paying Zeke $90 million.
They did.
There's probably 15 other guys sitting on a bench in the NFL that could do what Zeke's doing right now. But Brady is the GOAT. He's the best all time. He's in great shape. He still has his arm strength, and he can throw that deep ball. He can zip the 20-yard out on a line. He's still got a gun, and he knows how to move in the pocket and not get sacked. He knows when to get rid of the ball. His experience now is just helping him so much. And 14 more touchdowns. He may have that by freaking Halloween.
That's a scary stat, but
good one. LA Rams 23.
Yeah, that was good.
That is an amazing stat if you think about it.
And it has been a crazy first 2 weeks of the NFL, and I would not be surprised if that really happened.
Yep, it's You know, we got football back. 95% normal.
Yeah.
Guys are still missing time with COVID protocols, like Randy Gregory missed time. That's going to be something that's going to go on all year with all the teams. They gotta. Sorry, but the professional athletes, you gotta stay close to home, kind of, or something. Just pull it back in a little bit. You're not like us regular people. Your team is depending on you.
Yeah.
And so every team's going to have it, coaches and stuff. The Saints had that issue. They had like 6 coaches out with it, and
Yeah, only a few could coach, and maybe that was their downfall. I don't know.
I don't know, but
Maybe partly. I wouldn't say it was all of it, but I'd say it had to do something. Had something to do with it.
yeah. So
Who do you think is going to win the Packer game?
I think the Packers
Probably Green Bay. Yeah.
Yeah. They should win. They should win it pretty easily. They got something to play for. They should be embarrassed from last week, so that should fire them up a little more.
They should.
So.
And they're playing at home, so
that'll be a.
And we know Packer fans are loud, and they rally.
They're the best fans in the world. Yeah,
they're like the original fan, like NFL fans.
Mm-hmm.
So, So looking ahead to week 3, what are you looking for, or what do you look to happen next week?
Well, Cowboys are playing the Eagles, and I'd like to just see them keep playing the way they are. Just strong defense. That offensive line looked pretty good yesterday. Maybe Terrence Steele might have had the best game of his professional career, because he was not good last year.
No, he wasn't.
But he should not have been playing last year. He was like the 4th guy down the list. He probably should have never been playing. So
no,
kept him. So that should say something about him. And and he did well. Having Zach Martin back definitely helps for the Cowboys. And Tyron Smith looked like Tyron Smith of a couple of years ago. So hopefully he's healthy. Those 2 guys right there, that makes a huge difference. Biotish played pretty well. Didn't hear Connor Williams' name called, so he played well. If you don't hear the lineman's name during the whole game, they played well.
Yeah.
And coaches will tell you that and everything. And they had big holes for the runners. Zeke took advantage of a couple, definitely. Tony Pollard got through a couple, and again, he showed he's got more burst than Zeke, but they both played well. If they both play like that every week, we're going to be good. So, but this, the Cowboys got the Eagles, Panthers, and I can't remember who else coming up, but Cowboys should be good. So we can look at some of the other games here coming up next week.
Yeah.
Thursday, you got the Panthers at the Texans. Panthers are favored, I would say. Yeah, okay. Maybe because they're more of a younger team than a bad team, and the Texans are just a bad team right now, and plus the Panthers 2-0, so they got a little confidence going, and they do got Christian McCaffrey, so
that is true. I like Christian McCaffrey.
Dude's a stud. Yeah, he's awesome.
He definitely is.
So what we got coming up on Sunday? You got Bears at the Browns.
Browns are going to win that one. I hope the Bears can pull it off, but
Yep. Cleveland is favored to win. I think they're a better team than the Bears. So
yeah.
the Bears now have a little bit of a quarterback issue. So we'll have to see how that goes out. So
And I heard the Bears say, Nagy, he said, if Dalton's healthy enough, to play, he's going to start.
he should. They're not
Yeah.
a team that's on the road to the Super Bowl, really. If they get really lucky, they could squeak into the playoffs. They're not a bad team, but they're not one of the top 10 in the NFL.
Right. You got the Colts and Titans.
Colts and Titans. Okay. To me, it says Tennessee's favored. I would say so, but Colts got to snap out of it. If Carson Wentz can get on the field, if they duct tape his ankles together and get him on the field, they're a good team. So this should be a pretty close game. Colts and Titans, that should be a nice, pretty close game there. I don't know. I'll still take the Titans, though.
I'll take the Titans, too, over that one until, something's changed.
Yeah. We got here Bills or Washington at the Bills.
Yeah.
Even though those are two really good defenses going up against each other, except one of them teams doesn't have an offense, and it's not the Bills.
Right.
So that'll be a fairly close game, I think. But I think Buffalo should win it handily. A 24-14, something like that.
Yeah. The Chargers, I think I saw. Yeah, Chargers are going to Kansas City.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting game.
That will be because, as we saw yesterday, Chargers are good. They got some defensive players. Anytime you got a Bosa on the defense, you're going to be good. And the Chargers got, he could be what Patrick Mahomes was 4 years ago because he is freaking Herbert is good. And he's big, too. It's amazing. He looks big on the football field. He's 6'6". So, they were saying he actually does throw over linebackers. They use that term. You got to throw over the linebackers, but they mean in a lane. But he actually does throw over them. Kind of kidding there. But I would Chargers are good now. Okay, everybody used to them being bad. So I would expect that to be a good game. I don't know what to think about the score. Two pretty good offenses. I don't know, 30-20, something like that.
All right.
I don't know. Okay, no, let me change that. Let me go 30-24.
Oh, that's a good one. Maybe
Both quarterbacks throw for over 300 yards. There we go.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Bengals are at the Steelers.
Yeah. Steelers got to be mad, and Big Ben's got to be mad. So, and they're at home, so I think that'll be a good win for the Steelers. 21-10, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like that could be. Falcons in New York.
Oh, well, let me see.
Giants.
Trying to figure out my NFC East here. Make sure all my teams lose. Falcons got to snap out of it.
They do.
But, I feel bad for Matty Ice. They just don't look good. Giants look decent. Daniel Jones was good, not great yesterday, and already on Thursday, and Saquon Barkley will probably be more at 100%.
I feel like he's improving a lot.
Yeah, he's just getting healthier. Maybe they were being over optimistic about his knee, but they know. And then when he doesn't play, in even half the snaps, so something's up with him. So
Right.
I'll say the Giants. Let's have a nice, ugly 17-14 game with the Giants winning.
Yeah. Jets are going to Denver. I feel like Denver is going to win that game.
You feel like?
Okay, I know they're going to win that. I mean, both aren't really. I mean, Broncos been impressive in the 2 games. 2-0.
The Broncos are good. I mean,
Yeah.
if Teddy, that's the only thing they're missing is the quarterback. And Teddy Bridgewater was great yesterday, 328 yards. And they've got a top-notch defense. They have offensive players. Half of them you haven't heard of, but their wide receivers and even a couple of their running backs are really good. If Teddy Bridgewater can play,
Yeah.
within around a 90% quarterback rating, just play pretty well. He doesn't have to play great, just better than average. They're a really, really good team.
Yeah.
And the poor Jets they got to deal with it. They got to, it's going to be a long, hard season with them. I feel bad for the Jets. Over the years, they've been one of my favorite teams. They just don't get good enough, And if you ever go to New York and go to Long Island and ask them what they think about the Jets, you're going to hear ownership, 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 ownership. And that's true. They make bad draft choices, and everything. I think Denver's it's gonna be an easy win, 31-7.
I was gonna say maybe 31-14, but give them a little.
Maybe we see the flashes I talk about with Zach Wilson. He
Maybe.
could. That's what you're looking for. This is the game good. If he goes out and performs like they think he can, and makes it a close game, there you go. There's one of your hot spots to look at, Jets fans. But they're just too good on defense to let the offense get going for the Jets, and their offense is really good, especially if Teddy Bridgewater's on his game. I kind of pulling for him, as in a career, because he's had some bad breaks via injury and just situations.
Yeah.
You remember years ago, his first year, and not that many years ago, in Minnesota when he was a rookie, he lit it up, and then he got hurt.
Right.
And then he didn't come back, and then he bounced around. He played in New Orleans and subbed in for Drew Brees a couple times and did pretty good, but then he went to Carolina last year. He's been to a couple of different teams and just didn't do much, but Carolina's a bad team. How can you be, if you're running for your life, he's not what you call a running quarterback. He's more of a passer. He can run, but maybe Denver, maybe he's found his home, and I think he's 29 or 30, somewhere around there. So
yeah. And if he keeps playing like this, I don't see Rodgers going there.
No, that discussion is not relevant anymore.
No.
It's that's put to bed.
Yeah.
So let's see, who else do we got here? Buccaneers at the Rams.
Mm-hmm. We all know who's
wow.
gonna win that.
The Rams are favored to win. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so either.
Tom Brady, they're going to LA. The Rams are good, you
Yeah.
know, but I still think it's a Tom Brady, maybe a 24-20 game.
Right. I can see that.
Yep.
Packers going to San Francisco.
It's going to San Francisco next week. Well, I haven't seen how they look tonight.
Yeah. We'll skip that.
Yeah.
Seahawks in Minnesota.
Poor Vikings.
They're
They
getting
can't
close
catch a break.
games.
I swear to God. I think what the Vikings fans are doing, instead of using a chair, they're going to do the crate challenge, but they're going to just use one crate.
Yeah.
and have all their friends kick the crate from under them.
Right.
Yeah, Seattle lost yesterday. They're really good. They're not going to lose 2 in a row, especially the Vikings. They're going to, it's at the Vikings, but it's inside, so they're going to blow them out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think
28, 14, something like that.
yeah. And then I think besides the Monday night game, the Dolphins going to Vegas.
Ooh, yeah. Raiders look good.
Yeah.
Their team, their arrow pointed up, and I think, Raiders. Yeah,
Right.
especially if Tua is hurt. They're not a bad team, the Dolphins. But
Yeah.
I don't think right now the Raiders have come out of the gate. I don't think they're with them. 21-17, something like that. Raiders.
Yeah. I think the Raiders will win that. And I think we covered all the games for next week, didn't we?
Yep, of course. Cowboys over Eagles.
Yeah.
I'd like to see 42-0, but
maybe 42-7. They'll get one score in the last minute.
I love shutouts in football because it's
I do too.
rare.
Yeah.
It's so rare, and you can tell at the end of the game, even though like the Buffalo game, the defense could relax. Oh, if they score 2 times, we're still gonna win. But there's something to be said of pitching a shutout in football. The defense, you think, okay, yeah, we got to throw. You think they're gonna let easy on you. Well, we'll win the end of the game, and they don't. They clamp down even harder, So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it is too.
So,
is there anything else you want to cover before we head out?
no, just have a happy birthday, and
Thank you.
we'll just see you guys next week. We'll discuss games. We like the call-ins and the ins with people. Give us your advice. Give me some home decorating tips if you want.
There you go. Not that I don't think you need it, but
Chris, we can't say much about his decorating there, but he's hiding all the dirty clothes.
There you go.
So, all right, guys.
All right.
Everybody, happy football, happy victory, Dallas Cowboy Victory Monday.
Happy Victory Monday to all the fans, including the Cowboys. Hopefully your team's won, and we will see you guys next week. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week.